Last summer, before she popped off with her song Victoria's Secret, Calista and I sat down with the soon-to-be Atlantic Records recording artist, JAX. Now, it was a great conversation, and it did make it to the Gluten-Free Radio Show, but then I had some health issues crop up, and I just never edited or posted the video. But since JAX just dropped a new single, Cinderella Snapped, and it's also fire, we figured now is as good a time as any to revisit that conversation.
Joining us now, you've probably seen her on TikTok at least once. Now you're going to see her on Zoom with us. It's JAX.
Hi, welcome to my TikTok room.
Yes, that is the TikTok room, isn't it?
You're looking at it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've been following you for a long time, so I actually recognize the room. Not to sound creepy, but yeah.
It's funny, like when I started TikTok, we finally got into a very peaceful house in Los Angeles, but it used to be like a 1-bedroom, 700 square foot apartment in a Tommy's Burgers parking lot. And this is all like Hobby Lobby, like whatever, it was the cheapest, like home goods and furniture. And it's literally breaking in half, but we were like, we can't leave it. Like that was the OG TikTok backdrop, and all the people that I have fans that send me like games and stuff like that on there. So I was like, you know what, we're just going to move it, get it in the moving truck and get it back here. So you're looking at a little piece of the apartment here.
A little bit of JAX history.
Yeah, a little bit of humble pie every time. I'm like, don't forget where it started, in the apartment where there was no AC in Los Angeles.
Gosh.
Yeah, not great.
No kidding. Well, you've got a new song out called Victoria's Secret that is doing numbers. First, congratulations.
Yeah.
And is impacting people and making them think, about the way that we view people, the way that we view the fashion and beauty industry. And it's all very personal to you. So walk us through what inspired Victoria's Secret.
So there's a little bit of everything. I like to give you history on me. I've had, and I don't talk about it too, I don't like to dwell on it. And there's a reason I don't talk about it. It's because I don't really feel like I ever completely overcame it. Like I feel actually pretty awkward spearheading some sort of movement here, because I'm not as confident as I may seem on your TikTok feed. But I will say, like, this is the first time in my life where I've felt comfortable enough to make sure that other kids maybe don't go through it and write songs about it. So for me, initially, it was like the kid I babysit's always sharing stories about, mean girls in school and stuff like that. And she, has expressed some body things to me. And then I also had the concept in mind for a really long time and never knew how to say the right words. I had tried it in the past and it always felt wrong. And what I really wanted to say, because it was never about going up against any brand in particular, it was more like, as a songwriter, when you have a name in something, it's a really fun play on words. And it's just very convenient that Victoria's Secret happens to be like one of the most giant corporate, body positive nightmares in the past, really, for all of us. So I know that they're on their own journey now, but so it was never me versus Victoria's Secret. It was more so, what's like a way to rock out and make a song not sad and not like, let's be upset about this, but more like, let's rage together as young women, as young kids, even men, just like, let's rage that we've maybe been lied to in the media. And we've, especially girls who were born in the late 90s, early 2000s, I think we never had access to any kind of like body positive movement or anything like that. So for us, we only really saw one specific body type. It was just one girl. I was talking the other day to my mom too about how we used to, my friends in camp would race to see who could get the thigh gap first, right? We all wanted the thigh gap. We wanted,
I remember that,
our boobs to be bigger, to not have any fat, to just like all the natural things that happen when we, developed into our womanhood. That was all like not something we were supposed to want. So now I just wanted to be in a position where, even though I'm not in the best place, I want to make sure that they don't end up where I end up, and our next generation of kids think twice when they see an ad, and they think twice when they see something in their Instagram feed or on a billboard, and think, oh wait, I actually don't have to look like this. I am feeling great as me. I'm beautiful. I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm happy. And we don't have to cash in on this weird, unattainable thing. So here we are. Song's out. I didn't expect it to do what it did, but I will say, on a personal level, for my journey. I have never felt better about my own body than this week because now it's kind of evidence that something did something good, because I have been seeing only diversity in body types in my DMs and in my feed now. And it's just like girls rocking out to my song that came out of my brain, to feeling comfortable with their curves and like dancing to it, and little girls, little kids and their moms and all this stuff. And I looked in the mirror the other day and I was like, oh wait, who is that? Is that like what I look like for real? You know, there's no dysmorphia. It's just I was just so happy this week. So really cool feeling. And rant.
Well, speaking of that, like you actually did a flash mob in front of an actual Victoria's Secret, and then you got a bunch of different kinds of people to join into that mob. It wasn't just like a bunch of like dancers, right? There was a girl in a wheelchair, and then I think there was a little person as well.
Not at this, but in lots of TikToks. I have like
okay, I think I saw it.
Where I like kind of I'm the adopted person in like the little person community out here. Like I have like moms that have been like, come through, like want to come over for dinner and like we can make content. I'm like, really, me? Like I don't you sure? Because I don't know how much I have to offer, but we'll write songs about it. Anyway, yes, we did a flash mob. I am like the world's worst dancer, I'm sure. Like 2 left feet, I have zero sense of direction. So like, it's like really, I think everything's a little off when it comes to coordination in my brain. The idea was more of like just a fun joke and like a way to just mess around and have a good time with it. Take it back almost, like now that we're older, we're like, this stuff doesn't really matter to us anymore. But I didn't know how to organize it. So we actually just like contacted a flash mob company who had a choreographer, and he was like, is there anyone specifically you want to cast? And I'm like, well, actually, yes and no at all. Like I want to make sure that every single body type is like as much as we can for 3 minutes, and as many people as we can get in 2 days. Everybody, underrepresented men, even like all shapes, all colors, all sizes, all of us, just one big, like beautiful mess. And I wanted everybody to rock out and have their own little spotlight moment, which, you know, is stressful because I actually like can't really have much of an input on that side. So when I came in, I was very lucky that all of these dancers were pro dancers. They taught me how to dance. They taught me the moves. They made me feel way less stressed. We had about 2 hours to get everybody a spotlight moment. 30 plus pro dancers in one group, and no, like the air conditioning broke in the studio, so it's like 100 degrees. And then we all just like got in our cars and went to the mall, right? And for me, that was awesome because I just was happy to get through the dance, but also like there was a little bit of a pressure online. There is this thing where you honestly, no matter really what you do or what your intentions are, people are going to find something, you know, something I'm learning every day, to not let it mess with my integrity. But I will say, like, my biggest concern is accidentally being like a protagonist in a plus size movement, because I love the plus size movement. I support the plus size movement, but I'm not plus size, and I could never pretend to be the person spearheading the plus size movement. All I could do is speak on my own truth and speak in that I've never felt represented in the media, and I always felt like there was no body type for me out there. And then there was no diversity, so it was always just one. So I just wanted to create something diverse where everybody felt sexy and cool and empowered, and we really accomplished it. And I made some great friends. I did not remember that the dance community is the hub of eating disorders. So when we were rehearsing, I got to talk to some friends and some new friends that I've kept that they've really gone through it even worse than I have. And even there's somebody with EDS, she's in a wheelchair. She was diagnosed at 21, pro dancer out of nowhere. So now she can't get cast because they don't have a place for her, and casting directors turn her away because she walks funny when she can stand, and when she sits down, there's like, this is not like something that they wanted cast. I don't know. Whatever it was really emotional. All of us cried a lot and danced a lot and had a good time. So
now we got to talk about you on TikTok. obviously,
Yeah.
because I believe you're at 10.9 million followers real time.
Real time. Wow, you're really following it. I thought I was the only one looking. I'm like,
Yeah. Hey, we're getting close to 11 million. So
yeah,
as that number increases, do you feel more pressure to perform as a TikTok creator?
a little more so. It's a lot. It's just a lot of people. Like this all happened to me. I've been a songwriter forever. You know, you always dream of this kind of number, right? And I'm like, this happened during the pandemic. I haven't gotten to get on stage yet. When it happened, I couldn't even see my mom in person. So it's really hard to process the numbers as human beings.
Mhm.
So the coolest part to me is getting like the videos and stuff like that, or meeting people in person now. It's the first time in my life where when I go out, like people will come up to me, and that's very strange and in a good way. Like I appreciate it a lot. But I definitely feel like there is like a level of upkeep, because ever since I started posting TikToks and like things started moving, I haven't ever gone more than 4 days without posting. And when I make the content, it's not really like selfies or just a dance or anything like that. It's a lot of work that goes into these videos and the songs. So even when I have collaborators or kids, I'm kind of a full-time babysitter. So it's like I have a lot of kids coming in showing off their talents and stuff like that. But you got to teach them songs and get the takes, and it is a lot of work for sure. It's not as easy as it looks. Although we don't overproduce it, it is still a journey. So yeah, no, it's a lot of pressure to keep the content flowing for sure. But I hope that people just at some point, if I just get really tired and want to take a little vacation, that people will just come back at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, since you started, you've had quite a few celebs show up on your TikTok as well. I remember when I saw the Jesse McCartney one.
My beautiful soul. I love him, man. That was one of the first times I got to see like somebody in person that I had fangirled over my whole life, and it was like, can I touch your face kind of thing? I'm like, oh my God, is this real life? Are you really in my apartment? Like, and now he's a good friend of mine, and he's awesome. So
I was gonna ask, like, out of all the people that you've been able to meet so far, who has been the most mind-blowing one, and who would you absolutely lose your mind if you got to meet?
These are two really hard questions, because they're all mind-blowing in different ways. When they come over here, it's still like somebody I saw on my TV, and nobody's let me down in a way where it's like they were rude or anything. Everybody just was awesome. So I think like one of the coolest ones for me, I think, was Maggie Wheeler, which is Janice from Friends. Oh my God. She is just like so normal and so much like my mom and my family, East Coast girl. And she has like kids my age and stuff like that. And we just hung out. We talked about like weird traumas and stuff. I don't know. Like she was just so normal. We ate a fruit platter. Like that's cool to see like a caricature of something. Like you only really grew up with like that or her and that, and not ever getting to talk to her. So that was just very cool and surreal. Same thing with like Patrick Renna was the first guy to come in, the guy, "You're killing me, Smalls" from Sandlot.
Mhm.
And that was my first real experience. And I was like so nervous, like, thank you for coming here. And yeah, that was cool. But I don't know, for as far as collaborations go, I do have one in the works, but I can't tell you, because if Chelsea finds out about it, the kid I babysit, then it'll ruin the whole video. So I just won't even talk about it, but you'll see. And then, but Selena Gomez would be a big one. I've been like having like little back and forths with her on there. Lizzo's awesome. I love Lizzo's TikToks. I love Gordon Ramsay. He's been like on my list for a while. I almost just kind of like, I knew I was going to be at the same event as him. So I did a part one of Bad Guy, but it was like, this meat is mad dry, like, or something like that. And I was gonna like say that to him and punk him and not tell him, but then I got too nervous and chickened out and never did it. So Gordon, if you're listening, please come on TikTok with me so you could roast my cooking. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Gordon Ramsay and Selena Gomez, your usual.
I
But
mean,
it
both
could
of
happen.
those. Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, and don't forget, Selena did that little mini show during the pandemic called Selena Plus Chef.
Right.
You could
and she was
literally
taking her own meals. I saw that. It was fun. Yeah.
you could get both of them in one TikTok, arguably.
Whoa, you're right. Wait, you're
Just
right.
saying. Yeah. So
Okay, yeah, because I really wanted to talk about this one because you first went viral with the song Like My Father. That's how I discovered you on TikTok. Every single time I hear that song, like I will start crying involuntarily.
Oh, thanks.
It's so good. So did you expect it to blow up? Were you planning for it to be a thing, or was it literally just a video for your parents?
No, I didn't expect it to blow up. I was hoping that it would have an effect as a love story, like the same way The Notebook did, because I realized as I got older, my parents are pretty much The Notebook. They're like the greatest love story I've ever seen in my life. And I got very lucky to have access to that as a kid. Not everybody does. A lot of affection. We thought it was gross. Me and my brother, like they would make out and he'd grab her butt and like always just he was just so obsessed with her. My mom is more like, my mom is actually the like more quiet one in the romantic sense, and then my dad is very extroverted all over her and touchy feely. So we were like, ew, stop it, this is so gross, you guys are so embarrassing. And then as my brother and I both got older, we realized that's all we were looking for in a relationship, and it's like you couldn't get better than that. So for me, when I wrote it, I mean, by the way, this is I'm happy to bring it up because I'm not too precious about any song. Like I think I have fun writing them and I'm glad when it makes an impact in some way. But this one for me was really important because it's really the first time I told my actual story and tried to make it so that it could be relatable to everybody's story, even with the little goofy, quirky, dysfunctional details in their relationship, like maybe other people could aspire to be like my parents or have that kind of love. And it did more than I could have ever imagined. I will say there was like a part of me when I wrote the song, obviously my first instinct was when it was done and I was kind of in goosebumps, it was days and days, which I never spend that long, right? And I was like, let's go send it to my mom and dad, right? And then I was like, whoa. Okay, maybe we try to get their reaction on TikTok when we post the song, because who knows, it might be something really beautiful. And it ended up being something really beautiful. So my mom's crying. They thought I was pranking them for sure. When I showed them the video, they were like, they were waiting for something to jump out at them. They said, because that's what I'm like. I'm never like gooey with them like that. So it was a really important part of our relationship together. And I'm really proud of that song. I'm really glad that you liked it too. That's like one of my favorite things, if not my favorite thing I've ever written.
It's so good. And the music video with just your parents dancing.
I directed it. So that was,
Wow.
I've never directed anything. And they were originally like, you got the label and a bunch of people trying to cast people and get a music video done. Like, who do we hire as the parents? And I was like, what actors do you cast? And I'm like, wait, what? Well, no, we don't have to cast actors. You don't understand. My parents are nuts. Like they can do it. I know how, but I would be the only one that would know how to pull those things out of them. So it was my first time behind a camera with my homies and my boyfriend helping out. And I would just hold the playback and be like, all right, now do the thing you did that one time 4 years ago when we went on vacation. Oh yeah. Okay. And can you do that thing you do when you like tell her like sign language code that you love her, and like, all the things I knew I could pull out of them. And then my mom, she is not great on camera. My dad is. My mom needed to have a couple of shots before getting on camera. She's really nervous. So that was my job as director, to make sure she had like a little flask going on to loosen her up a little bit. And then she falls. Gnarly, like they're dancing, and it's in the video. You could see it. I don't leave the aftermath in the video, but because the fall is very cute, because they fall and then they roll around together and they kiss, and it's actually very romantic Disney style roll around on a hill, right? But after, she's like white dress, blood everywhere, just like had to stop the shoot. Like I was like, oh my God, Mom, what did you do? Like, we're on a grass lawn. How did you get bloody? Like, this is crazy. She's very clumsy. She's like, that's where I get my 2 left feet, is her.
Wow. Wow. So quite a story behind the Like My Father music video.
Never a dull moment with my parents.
No kidding. Now, real quick, Jax, before we wrap up, you are a self-professed dad joke lover. So while we're talking about dads, you got any new ones that you'd like to lay on us real quick?
my favorite one, because I'm a songwriter, is what do you call a fish with no eyes?
I can't even look
Tough
at you right
crowd.
now. I can't even look at you right now.
Man,
Baby, man, that's why I'm here. I'm telling you. And then there's, oh my
that's a
God,
good
I heard another one. Oh, this one was oh yeah, what about if two vegans get in a fight, is it still beef?
Ha.
Wait,
Okay, I like that
I like
one.
that
wait. Sorry, one more.
Okay.
Okay. What do you call security outside of a Samsung store? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Ridiculous. But
You're welcome.
that is a good note to wrap up on. Jax, thank you for the stories and for the jokes and for
Wow.
the music.
Oh man, thank you for having me. This is cool. This is the most chill interview I've had in like weeks. So